The Film Shitters Podcast. Right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of the Film Shitters Podcast. We had our last episode last week. If you haven't seen that, check that out. If you haven't noticed, I've also spent some time updating some of the graphics and making this podcast a little more pretty. But another thing that I've done that is different than the first episode is that now we have an official second guest.
Yeah.
And right now we have my boy Alex, or Blexian.
Hi, everyone.
Yes, say hello.
Blexian, Blex.
All right. Let's start here. Introduce yourself. Tell us what you love about movies and film shooting.
Hello, everyone. So, as my fellow film shitter just once said, my name is Alex. I'm currently in just my house chilling right now. Actually, just finished Kiki on my CRT right here, which is pretty cool.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
I've been a long time film lover since I was a kid. My first films I watched were animated. The first live action that I've ever seen that I remember, my first Godzilla movie, 1972's Godzilla vs. Gigan.
Yeah.
And then ever since then, I've just been seeing movies in theaters, learning more about like behind the scenes stuff,
Yeah.
just learning. Also, I think since about like 2021, I've been physically collecting them,
I
and
respect it.
that also has been really fun too. So yeah, definitely. And then only November of last year is when I kind of started logging them on a site called Letterbox, which is kind of like social media for like film buffs and film nerds. So that's been also really fun.
Yeah.
I just reached just I think a week or a couple days ago. I just reached my 500th logged film.
That,
So short slash everything else. But yeah, no.
that is insane. If we do the math, we are in June. We are halfway through the year.
Yeah,
So
6 months.
365 days in a year, if the math is right. That means you have watched well over one movie every day since the year I
Since
started.
January 15th, I've been consistent since.
That is insane. I
Yeah, no.
respect that. I got
And that's not even like scratching the surface. I
yeah.
think throughout my lifetime, I've well reached over a K.
Damn.
Not even, but at least like logged. I think
Yeah.
right now it's like 515 right now. So
Jeez.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's insane.
I
I don't even know how I even did that, but I just
uh-huh.
have a lot of time on my hands to just
Honestly.
sit down and watch.
Yeah. You know, I tried. So, for context, viewers, I originally prepositioned whatever. I challenged Alex over here to see who could watch more movies by the end of the year. Right now, on Letterboxd, I'm at 196 films.
Just this year.
Yeah, this year. I have 371 for like my total lifetime on Letterboxd. So for like multiple years, you are ahead of me. Which
I'm way ahead of you.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, no.
it's not that I don't understand, because I do understand. You watch a lot of movies, and I respect that, because I don't have that.
No, it's
Yeah, that
it's definitely
attention
been
span.
fun. I think right now the record for most I've seen in a day is 8. Thank you,
Wow.
Disney and the Disney Renaissance. But
Yeah.
yeah, right now it's 8. But
Mm-hmm.
I mainly want to do like new stuff, so
Yeah,
like rewatches, they don't really count.
I've noticed
They
that.
do, but they don't, so just keep that
Yeah.
in mind. So
Uh-huh.
I've also wanted to start doing that a lot more because originally I was like, okay, I don't want to take anything away from like the first review.
Yep.
But then I was like, well, stuff changes, so naturally you want to also like at least watch it like another time on something like this.
Yeah,
So
yeah, for sure.
get like second thoughts and stuff. So I started trying to do that a lot more
Yeah.
with some of like my favorites.
Yeah, I'm looking at your letterbox right now, and you have 515 films in total. Well, you have
Yeah.
515
Mhm.
films, and then including rewatches, you only have 524. So that's
Mhm.
what 11 rewatches for the entire year. That's
Yeah, no.
that is crazy.
Yeah,
I
no,
have
it's
actually I think I have around the same amount. If including
yeah,
rewatches, I have 210 films compared to
yeah.
196. So
Mhm.
I
Yeah, no.
yeah, I don't know. But
I
I do
think
respect that.
I think later today
Hmm.
I'll redo Nosferatu because I just got the newer one,
Oh yeah.
and I've also seen the original. I need to see the '70s one, but
Oh yeah.
yeah, I think today I'll see re-review last year's Nosferatu because a lot of my earlier reviews
Yeah.
were kind of like 1 to 2 sentences because I kind of was still like figuring out like should I do full on paragraphs or just
Yeah.
do like something short and sweet.
Uh huh.
Now I kind of do a mix, but I kind of want to do some more like in-depth ones.
Yeah.
I think to like kind of like really show like I actually got something out of it and not
Uh
just
huh.
like, oh, it's great, it's amazing, and
Yeah.
yeah,
If you just say every movie you saw that wasn't terrible, it's just good, then it doesn't do it the same amount of justice, in my opinion.
mhm,
Right?
yeah, like
Like say you watch like a perfect 10 out of 10 film and you say, wow, this was really good, and then you watch
yeah.
like a 7 out of 10 film and you say, hey, that was really good. It's like, yeah, sure,
Well, yeah, sure, they
your
were both good. It's
yeah,
just like,
your
what's the
opinion's
reasoning
true.
behind it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Mm,
so many people have so many different opinions, and
oh
I
my god.
think it's really fun to have different opinions, because
Because yeah.
yeah,
I kind of like to mix like just the fun random ones.
yeah,
Like I'll just give like the most random movie you've probably never heard like a 5-star thing, and then I'll go
uh-huh,
into like a full in depth, and then I'll
yeah,
do like something like Harakiri and actually give like a full like actual like serious reasoning
for
as
sure.
to right now that is the best film ever made. At my pick, at
Ooh,
least.
all right. Because
Yeah,
I,
no.
so yeah, viewers, I wrote a
Mhm.
list of like different films that we maybe could have talked about, and
Yeah.
Harakiri is one of them. Because I also recently
Oh
watched it.
God,
Because
Harakiri.
yeah, I saw your review of it. I saw your review, and then I was like,
Mm-hmm.
well, maybe this is about time that I should finally give it a shot. Because it's been on my watch
Hmm.
list for like years at this point, and it's the
Yeah.
highest rated film
Hmm.
on Letterboxd. If you don't know,
So
it has a 4.7 average
7. Hmm.
out of 5. So that is, if you do the math, that's like
Jeez.
what, a 9.4? The average person
Yeah,
gives it
like
a
a
9.4 out of
9.5.
10. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Mhm.
that's crazy.
That's
That's
insane.
yeah.
Like, over a lot of other films that I'll be like, "Really? This one is, like, the
Yeah.
highest rated one? Because
Mhm.
I when I think of that, I always think of films like Citizen Kane. I think
Yeah.
of stuff like that would be, like, the highest, but
Yeah.
no, it's a little
It's
it's like a samurai critique on, like, the
yeah.
establishment, and it
Exactly.
was so good.
Mhm.
So good.
Yeah,
Mm.
cuz it's a samurai film, but it's not a very popular samurai film compared to
Oh.
Kurosawa, right? You'll hear
Mhm,
like Seven Samurai, the 47 Ronin, Rashomon.
mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, Yojimbo.
oh yes,
Mhm,
Yojimbo, Sanjuro.
mhm,
But yeah, no, I never really heard of Harakiri beforehand, and
mhm.
I thought that the only reason it was the highest rated film on Letterboxd was because not a lot of people have seen it, which is
Oh. Yeah.
partially true, right? I think if more
Mhm,
people saw it, then maybe the score would get lower. But
mhm.
I'm honestly pretty content with it being number one. I think it is a
Yeah,
masterpiece.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can agree on that because I feel like it was definitely, like, how it was structured and how, like, he goes and explains, like, the story of another guy who
Yeah.
also came there and, like,
Yeah.
the way that that turned out
That
and
was
just
so good.
insane.
No,
That
it's
was literally insane, and also when the music kicked in, it
mhm.
was, like, all dramatic and stuff, and then that standoff with him
Dude.
towards the end,
Yes, on the
oh my
field.
god,
It's so
I haven't seen something like that since Good and Bad and the Ugly, bro.
damn. I'm sure
Literally, dude.
I wonder if it was inspired by it cuz I know
I think, cause yeah, I know, obviously Fistful of
oh
Dollars,
yeah.
Yojimbo, the
Well,
iconic long wide shot of
mhm.
the yeah,
Yeah,
that's kind
that's
of it, but and
yep.
no, that standoff was the tension there was
Yeah. I
insane,
love dude,
literally.
that was aura farming, all right?
Yeah.
It was sick aura
It
farming.
was,
It was
yeah, bro.
super it's like that last third act or whatever. It's like
Mhm.
probably
Oh my
some of
god.
my favorite pieces of cinema ever.
That
It's
whole fight,
yeah.
him just against, like, all those other people and, like,
Yeah.
just oh my
Mhm.
god.
And
Oh.
I checked. I couldn't find out if it was confirmed or not, but I think that was the inspiration for Kill Bill Part One, where
I can see that, yeah.
I think it
The
was
scene where the bride is then,
yeah,
has to fight
fucking
off all these people and stuff.
slashing.
Yeah, I can see
Yeah,
that, yeah. Mhm,
because Kill Bill is my favorite Tarantino film, or at least Volume One. And so,
Yeah, see
seeing
volume two, bro.
I
Let's
haven't
see.
seen volume 2. I really need to. But
Yeah, no, it's the more grounded one. So I want to know how you feel about it.
yeah.
It's the more grounded one.
Okay. I mean, I think I will still at the very least really like it. But
Yeah,
I'm
but
keeping my
just
expectations kind of low.
yeah.
Mhm.
Because originally Tarantino was like, okay, I want it to be one film,
Yeah.
and they were like, no, we want two, and he was like,
Uh-huh.
okay.
Yeah. That would have been
You know?
interesting to see
Mm.
the final cut of volume 1 or whatever, see what it would
Oh
have been
yeah.
like, but
Mhm. Yeah.
but
Right now, Pulp Fiction, right now, is my favorite Tarantino movie, I think.
Pulp
Right
Fiction
now, at least.
is a solid top 3 for me. Maybe
Yeah.
second. It's
Mhm.
kind of a masterpiece.
Yeah, no, like,
Yeah. I
I
all
think, yeah, it's definitely like, I feel like it's just because of Sam Jackson, and
uh-huh.
then it practically saved John Travolta. Practically
Yeah.
saved him. And then he kind
Yeah.
of just went on a little bit of a slump afterward, but we don't
Ugh,
talk about that.
I don't know, man. There's
Um,
a lot we could talk about with John Travolta. That
Travolta.
that Oscar bait. I forgot what it was called. It was like that Oscar bait film where he played like a disabled man, and it was directed
Oh,
by the fucking what's his name, the Limp Bizkit singer.
oh, I
you
can't
know,
think of.
you know
I
who I'm
think
talking
maybe.
about.
I know. Yeah, Limp Bizkit. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Fred Durst,
I
that's
know.
who it is. Yeah. Fred Durst directed a film with John Travolta where he plays like a mentally disabled stalker, I think. And it was clear Oscar bait, and apparently it's not really good.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
You
but
want to know what else is Oscar bait? All Quiet on the Western Front,
yes,
the newer
dude, I
one.
fucking hate that movie. Viewer, okay, let me get the close up of me. Viewer, fucking All Quiet on the Western Front. That Netflix remake, bullshit, stupid, dumb. I hate
I
it.
will say at the time when I first watched it, I thought it was pretty good. And then looking back, I'm like,
Yeah.
when that sound is playing like every 5 seconds, like I'm
Oh, the
like that
drone,
sound,
yeah.
I was like,
Uh huh.
what? And
Yeah,
then
I
yeah,
think.
no,
Um, all right. Can I be honest here too?
yeah,
I also kind of liked it. Well,
yeah,
I okay. So beforehand, I don't know about you, but I believe there are 3 different versions of All Quiet on the Western Front. There's
yeah.
the
There's
original,
the
I think it's
30s
30s.
one,
Yeah, from the
yeah,
30s.
1930s.
Yep. Which use real veterans from World War I as actors.
Mhm.
It's this beautiful anti-war story. I haven't seen the
Mhm.
original, but I want to.
I
But
want to
then,
too. Yeah,
yeah, there's another version I saw, which came out in
70s one.
the 70s, and that one
Yeah.
used Vietnam veterans as actors or
Mhm.
whatever. And it was another anti-war movie that used that war as sort of a
Mhm.
reference point, you could say. And
Then the
I
new
saw
one.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's the one I originally saw, and I loved it. It's
Mhm.
probably my favorite war film. Um, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, and that ending kind of fucking, ugh, it's really good. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, I saw that in my AP Euro class, so that was super fun.
Yeah.
Actually, no,
Mhm.
might have been my other one.
So
A history
saw
class.
the I saw the new one. I saw
Yeah.
the new one in my AP World class, which
Wow.
is funny.
Huh.
Forget we were like picking options, and one of them that popped up was All Quiet on the Western Front. So I was like, oh, naturally a war film.
Yeah.
We're gonna watch that, and then we watched it, and I
Uh
was
huh.
like, okay, that was good. I have some things about it that don't
Yeah.
really like work, but
Yeah.
it was
It's
good. It's not terrible, but
exactly
it's definitely good.
because I don't even think
Mm.
it's not a bad movie.
It's just
It's
why?
it's exactly just watch
Why?
either. You have 2 different versions. All right, if you don't want to watch the older black and white one, just watch the '70s one. That's
It's in
also
color, yeah.
yeah in color. I think there was a 4K release. You'll be fine. But
I know.
whatever. People annoy me.
And to the point,
Yeah.
live action remakes. Oh my god, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen. That's a good segue because yeah, How to Train Your Dragon just came out, and I'm not gonna see that
I'm not gonna
because
see it either.
like
Uh huh.
literally the animated version exists.
Yep.
It's quite possibly it's one of the best like original animated movies ever. That whole trilogy is
Yeah.
just one of the best like animated trilogies all time. Two, I think, is the best one.
Okay.
One is my personal favorite, and then
Yep.
Hidden World is underrated as hell. Keep in mind that year, 2019,
Yeah.
I think that was like the at least right now until like
Uh-huh.
the next couple years.
Yeah.
That was like peak animated movie like sequels. 2018 was kind of like that with
Uh,
Incredibles 2 and
yeah.
whatnot, but 2019 you had like animated sequels out the wazoo,
Mm-hmm.
and Hidden World, it came out and everyone was like, yeah, that was like really good. Then it kind of just faded away where the others kind of like stayed. And I think, yeah, at that point, it is the best looking DreamWorks film. I think
Yeah.
the only thing that beats that is obviously Last Wish. The only thing that
Okay.
would really beat that
All right.
is Last
Yeah.
Wish. But that's just me. That's
Uh-huh.
just me.
No, Last Wish is one of my favorite DreamWorks films. That is
God,
definitely
the
give it.
Spider Verse in an animation for a Spanish cat.
It's
How does
awesome.
that make sense?
It doesn't need
And
to.
they juggled three villains.
Yeah.
Although I wish Death had
Mm.
a little bit more to do. Like I'm fine with the
That's
others. I think they're
yeah.
fine. I just think Death, 'cause Death is really cool. He was really
He.
cool. Like the whistling shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, like
Yeah. I know.
goosebumps. But I
He is
think he
super
had.
badass.
I think he should have had just a little bit more to do. I think that was the only reason why for me it's not like a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
Is that I just think Death could have had just a little bit more depth
Yeah. He
to him,
doesn't.
just a little bit.
He's a very important character, but he doesn't do much. Um.
Like, he's in the background, like, you feel his
Yeah.
presence when you hear the whistling,
Uh
but that's
huh.
really all he does
Yeah.
up until the final, like, three-way
Mm-hmm.
battle at the end.
But I could
So,
also.
yeah.
I for the sake of the argument here, I'm gonna play devil's
Yeah.
advocate. I think you could
Mhm.
also say that Death is kind of like that in real life, where
Wolf, that's his name, but yeah, he's
yeah,
death, basically.
he is death. He is a
Mhm,
metaphor for like the spiritual embodiment of death. And I think
mhm,
the idea of you never know when he's gonna strike or whatever. When death is
mhm.
gonna strike, is always just kind of looming around in the background. I think
Yeah,
that element makes a lot of sense in context of the film.
does, yeah,
But
but
I see what you're going with because he's a really cool villain.
he's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he was
Uh
so
huh.
cool. Like, I think for me, it was the close-up of his claw on Puss's head.
Oh yeah,
Insane. That
for
was
sure.
insane. Yeah,
It's that
no.
movie is great.
That's
Cause
so good.
yeah,
'Cause
actually,
the original's good. It's just I feel like it came out
good's
of
a strong
nowhere
word.
because okay, it's okay. Now that I think about it, yeah, it kind of is. It's okay.
Com-
It kind of just is whatever.
yeah.
Kind of just sets you up for Last Wish, which
Uh
is
huh.
obviously infinitely like the better just film and stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, it kind of just exists in my opinion.
It's
It's not Shrek 3, but it's very close.
yeah.
I
I was
think
gonna
it's
say because
very close.
I feel like maybe on its own it's not that bad, but it's a Shrek
Like
movie or a Shrek
it's
spinoff, whatever. But like
yeah.
it's nowhere near the levels of Shrek.
Yeah,
But
no.
no, Last
Mhm.
Wish I think is it's definitely up there. But definitely
Yeah,
with
no.
it goes without saying
Well,
it's better than Shrek the Third. And I think
dude, nah,
even
anything's better.
when I take a
Well,
shit,
actually, Cars 2 exists, so I don't know.
actually, well, no, all right, here I'm gonna show a close up of you, and I want you to say what your favorite Pixar film is.
Oh yeah.
hmm
It's Cars 2.
It's Cars
It's
2.
not that it's actually not it's not the best one. That actually goes to Coco. Actually, that I think for right now is
Yeah.
Coco.
Okay.
Unless I need to rewatch a lot of the other ones, but I
Yeah.
think right now the ones that I've least rewatched
Uh
is
huh.
Coco's number one,
Coco.
easily.
That makes a lot of sense because Coco's my favorite. Well, maybe it's tied between that and Soul because I love Soul. Um,
I was
careful.
because like our group, you guys love Soul.
Yeah,
I like it, but I don't love it.
that's weird. Because you're a music guy. You're a music guy.
I
I
am a
thought you would.
music guy, and I like how they used like the actual like playing,
Yeah,
him like actually playing the pianos
it
and
being accurate.
piano and actually being accurate,
Uh huh. All
which
the
I believe
instruments
is a
were.
technique called. Oh Jesus, I just learned this the other
Oh.
day. It's like an animation technique where they take live action footage
Uh
and
huh.
they animate that around it to make it
It's
like make
yeah.
the animation more realistic.
Not
What is it
rotoscoping, but
called?
I think I know what you mean.
It's kind of like
Yeah.
rotoscoping, but
Yeah.
yeah, where
No,
they
that's
actually
super
took
cool.
his fingers playing the piano and they made it a little bit accurate. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, I
Yeah.
like the whole theme. I like the line at the end where he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna live every minute of it."
Yep, that
That right
ending.
there, that just hit.
It
Like,
did.
that definitely hit.
It's such
But
a it's
yeah,
great.
no,
And
I
all
I
right.
didn't. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I don't know where I
I
was
don't mean
going
to
with that.
interrupt you because I
I'm
haven't seen
gonna
that
do that
movie
a
in a
lot.
while, but there's a lot I love about it. Probably my
Mm.
favorite scenes, like that conversation with his mom about like
Oh
whether he
yeah,
should do
about like,
the band or stay as a teacher or
mm.
whatever. That's
And she
super
like,
interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then she gets all mad, and then he kind of like storms out. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Uh
Yeah.
huh.
Mm.
But and there's so many scenes I could talk about, but I could also see
Yeah.
why someone doesn't like it because it's a very I don't know if dry is the best word, but it's it doesn't do a lot. There's not a lot of action in it, I guess.
Hmm.
Not even like
There's
something.
peril, but there's no like real like big boom
Mm-hmm.
like thing
Yeah,
with
no
it.
big. There's like no literal big
There's
explosions
no
or
Michael
anything.
Bay explosions in here,
Yeah.
guys.
Uh huh.
Okay,
No,
there's no
like
Optimus riding a mechanized dinosaur in this. Okay, so
mm-mm.
yeah.
All you've got is this man who has a dream and he just wants to live it, and I think that's
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah, that's
But
cool.
yeah,
Mm.
Cars 2, I don't agree with.
That is a misunderstood masterpiece, and
All
you
right.
cannot tell me
Okay. All
otherwise.
right.
Okay,
I'm gonna give
like the
you.
first one
Uh-huh.
is amazing, and then Cars 2 is just like,
Yeah.
we're gonna take this to like the next level. It's James Bond meets a car, honestly.
Okay. Okay. All
It's
right.
James Bond's meet cars, honestly.
Well, I don't do you, do you
It's
think
so
that fits?
awesome. I can't.
Do you think that works as a sequel to Cars 1? Do you think turning it into a James Bond film was the right direction?
Honestly, I
Yeah.
don't even know what they were thinking, but
Uh-huh.
it worked, at least for me, because I
Uh-huh.
know a lot of people slander it, and I'm like,
Slander
guys.
it. I don't know. Slander sounds a little off. Slander means,
Oh,
they're lying. I don't.
oh. Yeah, everyone's
Slan-
lying about
yeah,
Cars 2.
I don't think they're. I don't think they're lying about how
That it
questionable it
is,
is.
but
Yeah, there's a lot I
and
don't.
because like people will like destroy the Good Dinosaur and be like, "Oh, Cars 2 is like in the same level as that." Whereas
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, the Good Dinosaur,
Hmm.
honestly, is just like the Walmart version of the Lion King. Like literally, the whole death scene is just
Yeah.
copied and pasted from the Lion King
Uh huh.
in the
It's
beginning or whatever, when the
it
dad
doesn't.
goes into like the river and stuff, and it's just like,
Hmm.
just watch the Lion King, guys. Not
Yeah.
the live action one, not the one you made over $1 billion
Uh
for. The
huh.
one actually, I think, yeah, the Lion King back then was like huge success. So
Yeah.
uh,
No. It basically what's the word for it? Revived Disney as a whole, and
no, and I
they would have
think,
been doomed
yeah,
without.
right now it holds the record for most like foreign languages like translated
Oh wow, that makes a lot
like
of
in
sense.
like a film. I think it's like 30 plus
Yeah, it's
language translated, and I'm like,
uh huh.
damn, bro.
That is crazy.
I know. Mhm.
Yeah. Um, what was I about to say? I lost my train of thought. But yeah, good
Oh yeah,
dinosaur.
animation.
Yeah, yeah.
Animation. There you
Actually,
go.
we haven't said this yet, but viewers, another thing about me, a
Mhm.
very important thing about me. Um, I I'm not the biggest animation guy. I I like animated films, but I'm not crazy about them.
Because are you in the boot camp
oh,
made for? Oh shoot, I'm
oh,
like talking how you don't like
yeah.
it.
All right.
Well,
Just
not as enthused by it. There
wait,
you
wait.
go. I
We
should say.
we had some technical difficulties first, but yeah.
Yeah.
We had to do some stuff. I paused. But yes. So we were talking about animation.
Mhm.
Yes.
Animation,
Yeah.
like this animation.
Uh,
That's different, but we'll get
that's
into that.
because that's good animation. You were talking about bad animation. We were talking about
Yeah.
the good
Good
dinosaur.
Dinosaur,
'Cause
Cars 2,
yeah, good
Shrek the
dino.
Third. Yeah.
My the good dinosaur is my second least favorite Pixar film. It
Is
is.
your first Brave?
It is.
Or,
I hate
that's fair.
Brave. I think Brave just fucking sucks. It doesn't
It's
do
funny because
anything.
like it won the Oscar that year.
It did. I
Did
didn't
it
know
won the
that.
Oscar that year?
It didn't
Yeah,
deserve
no.
it.
It's like
No.
I think me when I first watched it, I was like, okay,
Mhm.
it's fine.
Yeah.
Like it's going well, and then the bear stuff happened. And I'm like, okay, so what does this have to? Because like
Yeah,
I feel like with a lot of films, you
hmm
have to do your homework in order to actually like fully understand it. I
for
feel like for
sure.
some films, like the first time you're watching it,
Yeah,
should at least obviously you're gonna have stuff in the back of your mind,
uh
but
huh.
at least like the film,
Yeah,
at least try and make it so that you don't have to do too much homework.
mm-hmm.
And then with Brave, when the bear comes in, I'm kind of just like,
Yeah,
so how does this relate?
cause
Like it explains it,
uh
but I'm
huh.
still like, okay, so like,
It.
what's the real true point to it? Like, there's this whole like
Mm-hmm.
thing it like tries to explain. I'm just like, nah, bro,
Yeah,
that kind of just took me out of it. Like the
exactly.
last second half definitely just went
It's so weak.
boom.
Cause yeah, I think
Yeah,
if you removed a lot of the bear stuff, with like the bear mom and everything, I think it would have been a better
could have
film.
worked.
Yeah,
It
cause
could
I
have
like
actually worked.
the Scottish stuff was cool. I liked it, but then I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know.
just
It's
bear happened. I'm kind of like,
yeah.
okay,
It
like
just becomes Brother
yeah.
Bear. It becomes Brother Bear 3. I don't
Actually
know.
liked Brother Bear.
I haven't
I haven't
seen it.
seen that in a minute, but I actually liked it a
Yeah,
lot. Actually,
I've never
I
seen
think
it.
animation wise, it is very underrated. Animation wise, and
Mm.
Joaquin Phoenix, the
Yeah,
guy who played the man who laughs, isn't it?
he did. That's
Actually,
all
need
I
to
know
see
about it.
that. I need to see that silent film because that also
Yeah,
influenced the creation of the Joker,
yeah,
like as
for
a
sure.
character. So
There's
I definitely.
yeah, people say the best Joker comic is Batman,
Mm.
the Man Who Laughs, or whatever.
Mm.
Not to be confused with the Batman Who Laughs, which is a
Yeah.
different character. But
Mm.
yeah, that movie's super influential.
But yeah,
Yeah.
no. What else is there? Trying to think. Oh
Mm.
yeah, remember Elio? Remember Elio,
Did
guys?
Elio
Like,
come out?
no, it's coming out this Friday, but remember
Oh.
it? It's only like now, like a couple weeks ago, is when they started actually like
Yeah.
doing marketing for it. I'm like,
I
so how did Train Your Dragon get
mhm.
more marketing than an original?
Literally,
I'm like,
I thought
well,
Elio came out. I
no,
didn't know.
it's coming out this Friday. But yeah,
Yeah, okay. I'm not gonna watch it.
Lilo and Stitch, How to
Uh-huh.
Train Your Dragon got way more marketing, and then there's
Yeah.
Elio, and it's just like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Yep.
exists. Yeah, no,
Whatever.
God. If that movie
Yeah.
fails, Pixar is done. I'm
Uh
saying it right now. Well, at
it's
least it's gonna like
it'll be
put a
sketchy.
little hit.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna put a little dent
for
in it,
sure.
just a little bit.
Cause we're already getting so many sequels. We're gonna get nothing but sequels. We're
Oh,
gonna get the Lion King prequel part 2.
yeah, Mufasa Part
Yeah,
Two. Yeah,
Mufasa part
no.
2.
Oh, the Angry Birds
Scar.
movie 3. I didn't even know they were making a third one of that.
Wow, and you are the Angry Birds
So,
guy.
dude, me in 2018, when that film got announced, I
Yeah,
was like, I was dying. I
yeah,
wanted to see that movie so bad.
that's
And
crazy.
then the second one came out, and I was just like, okay, this is where it's gonna get a little bit poop.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean,
I
the
don't.
Angry Birds movie by itself is not high art by
I was gonna
any
say
stretch.
I'm not the
It's not
biggest
high
fan.
art,
Not the
so
biggest
yeah,
fan of the
no,
first one. or
that's fair.
I haven't seen the second one either.
You don't need to. You
Yeah,
really don't.
yeah. I think I'm gonna
You-
keep it that
It's
way.
but yeah, no.
Yep. But
Mm.
whatever.
I might check out Elio, see what it is, but I don't know.
Yeah, I
I mean,
would.
here's the thing. I respect it being
Mhm.
original.
Yeah,
If there's one thing that it's gonna do for me is that
mhm,
it's actually original,
for sure.
and compared to all the other
Hmm.
schlock we've been getting.
It's been
So I
bad.
mean, there's that, but like, hopefully, it actually is a good movie
Uh huh.
to kind of back that up, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's definitely better than just making a remake or sequel. But also, it
It's
doesn't
gonna.
look like visually for me. It doesn't look that great compared to like
Yeah.
Pixar at their peak, like Ratatouille and Wall-E, which are
Mm.
beautiful films. Like they look beautiful.
Wally is the best like predicting the future film.
Oh, it's it's
Like,
pretty.
you
Yeah.
could say like Blade Runner, you can say like Metropolis, but like
Mm-hmm.
for me, it's freaking Wally, bro.
Wall-E.
Like,
Wall-E's really bleak.
I haven't seen that in a minute, but I love that movie
Yeah,
so much.
it's a
It's so good.
masterpiece.
Ratatouille surprised me, honestly.
Ratatouille's
Did,
really good.
yeah,
Yeah.
Ratatouille definitely surprised me because
Mm-hmm.
it's France and we all have our issues with France.
It's all
But
about the
anyway,
French rats, oui, oui. But yeah.
exactly. So, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
no.
Yeah, no, it's I don't like a
It's
lot of
fine.
kids films, but I like when kids films can also be mature. If they can be timeless,
I.e.
then boom.
Grave of the
Whoa,
Fireflies.
Grave of the Fireflies isn't a kids film. I don't know if I would go
It
that
has
far.
mature themes. I mean, I
Yeah.
recently watched In This Corner of the World, which,
Hmm.
fun fact, it came out same year as Your Name.
Oh
It
wow.
actually got that year's Japan equivalent
J-
Best Animated Feature
Oh
win.
wow.
That surprised me because I
Yeah.
love Your Name, but I
Huh.
think In This Corner of the World definitely like it's like
Hmm.
on the other spectrum of
Yeah.
just like it's like disguised as like this fun, cool, like child friendly kind of movie in like the first hour.
Uh
And
huh.
then the second hour, without spoiling it, it just hits you like a truck, just out
Jeez,
of nowhere. But
that's
yeah, no.
fun.
Mm.
Yeah, I think all movies should try to traumatize their audience. Really. T-
Exactly. That's
uh,
the thing. Like
mm-hmm.
all these kids, guys, they
Mm-hmm.
don't get traumatized like we did.
Dude, yes, all right.
Exactly,
We need
bro.
to bring back traumatizing children.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like
dude.
we need to show them who's boss and what's
Exact.
actually like good or not.
Dude,
Because we kind of just we spoon
mm-hmm.
feed them,
I grew up with
and we're just like,
Coraline. I grew up
oh my god,
Coraline,
I haven't seen that
Paranorman.
movie in a minute, but I love that movie.
It's
For
so
Leica's
cool.
first film, it is
Mhm.
still their best one.
Yep. And what's
I
this?
know like their Wildwood one is coming out, I think, in like a year or two, but
Uh,
Coraline was just, oh my
it's
god.
their best film, I think. I don't.
Yeah.
I
I
think
like
so.
Kubo. I thought Kubo was neat, but like
I've never seen Kubo.
you can I mean, I like it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what's the nearest thing to it? It's like if Coco was
Hmm.
actually more like Asian inspired. So he
Okay.
uses like like the little guitar thing that he has and
Yeah,
stuff, and like conjures up the wind and stuff.
that's cool.
So yeah, that's what I kind of thought of it as. But
Yeah.
no, it's neat, but you can't beat Coraline, bro.
No, as a sucker for like
It's
horror
built
films,
different.
it's so cool. Yeah, and I forgot his name, which is really messed up because he is a very talented director. Henry Selick. He is
Yeah,
the
Henry
guy.
Selick, yeah.
Yeah, Henry
Mhm.
Selick, guy who made Nightmare Before Christmas, wasn't Tim Burton, as we all know. Henry
Yeah,
Selick.
even though it says Tim Burton presents.
He did jack shit for that film. Let's be real. No, all right.
You don't like Tim Burton.
I don't like Tim Burton.
I kind of also don't really like him,
I
but
don't like
like
him
I
as a
like
person.
89 Batman for what it is,
Yeah.
but apparently Returns is like the better overall film, but
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I haven't seen Return,
still need to
but
see that.
I do, I do. My favorite
Don't
Tim
like
Burton.
Burton, you don't like oh wait, you hate Cameron.
Oh,
Not even just like
yeah.
not even just like a filmmaker, just
Uh
as a
huh.
human being, which I
Both,
absolutely
both.
understand.
Yeah. I think
Yeah, no.
he sucks. He's an asshole. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, going back to Burton real quick. There's one Burton film that I do really like, and it's Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. That movie
Oh
is
yeah, with Depp.
yeah, Johnny Depp,
Yeah,
Helena
that
Bonham
one. Yeah.
Carter, Sacha
Mm.
Baron Cohen's in it. Yeah, he is. He has kind of a funny role. What's his name? Alan Rickman's in it. A
Mm.
lot of Harry Potter actors are actually in it, and it's a
Mm.
really good musical. Stephen Sondheim, who you may or may not know, he's the musical guy, and he did the music
Mm.
for it. It's his play. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'd highly recommend it. So good.
Mm.
Um,
I think it was that and Sleepy Hollow, which I haven't seen in a while. It's
I've
like the
never
one
seen
with
it.
like the headless horseman type
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Johnny Depp in it. Mm.
That sounds kind of cool.
Haven't seen
But,
that in a while though. But yeah,
hmm.
that was
All
one I
right.
remember.
Okay.
Mm.
Hmm.
But yeah, getting back to animation, it's just I don't know what it is. Like
Yeah.
it's always like done things that live action simply can't replicate. Like it has like a certain
Yeah.
like charm to it.
It can do certain
It's
things.
also and
Yeah.
also I'm in the camp of it being like its own art form rather
Yeah.
than just a genre.
Yeah.
Just like
Because
massive disrespect to
it
be quite honest to all the people who
yeah.
like work on it and
Hmm.
whatnot.
Animation is such a. It's hard to do. It takes a long time. It's
Hmm.
expensive. It
Water.
Yeah,
Just
dude,
water.
it is so hard to animate films these days.
Mm,
Just in general, it's always been hard to animate things, but yet it's
mhm.
always chalked up to the film you put on to make your kid shut up, which is that's no.
If anything, that's just because we just give our kids iPads, and then
Yes.
we just call it a day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. We let the
Like,
iPads parent our kids. We don't actually do it
mhm.
ourselves. No, no,
Yeah, no.
that's too much energy. Just put on fucking Coco Melon and we'll be happy.
Melon, Skibbity
Mm.
Toilet, like all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Bluey. Look, Bluey's
Blue,
probably fine, but like,
Bluey's a
guys, it
lot
does
better than
a
the
lot
brain
of
rot.
child's programming these days. It
Mm-hmm.
just doesn't beat like the
Yeah.
stuff that we grew up with. Like, I'm talking Nickelodeon,
Mm-hmm.
freaking PBS, which is
PBS
going
Kids.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah, PBS Kids.
Mm-hmm. Super
Every now
important.
and again Disney, but mainly Nickelodeon was kind
Yeah.
of what I was into.
Cartoon
Yeah, no,
Network also. Yeah.
because every time I see an ad on HBO Max about child programming, I just
Mm-hmm.
want to die. And I'm like, guys,
Yeah.
this is what we're feeding our children. It's just
Uh-huh.
like we can do a lot better than this, to be
Seriously.
honest.
Like,
Yeah, no.
if I were, I don't want kids, but if I were to have a kid,
Yeah.
I would make sure it probably that the this makeshift child he would watch or they would watch Sesame Street,
Mhm. The
fucking I don't
Muppets.
know, Hobbit.
No, the Muppets,
Oh,
not the
Muppets.
Hobbit.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, the
No,
Muppets. A lot of Jim
not the
Henson.
Hobbit,
I thought you said the
but
Hobbit.
the
So no,
Muppets.
no. Yeah, the
No, not the
Muppet,
Hobbit.
Sesame Street.
Oh, yeah, Lord of the Rings. I just remembered that was the topic I want to talk about was Lord of the
All
Rings
right.
and how you think it's overrated.
Is this where we
How you think
transition?
that? Yeah, no.
We are around 30 minutes in.
Jeez.
We're gonna transition. This is gonna be another 2 hours here if we talk about Lord of the Rings, but I'm
Probably.
down. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Well, here's
Yeah,
our
no.
chance.
I mean, I think the limit on YouTube is like 12 hours, I think. It's like a
Rookie
12-hour
numbers.
video.
Well,
Yeah.
I,
I don't
all
think
right.
we'll go that
Okay.
long, but
This is another thing piece of advice we have to tell our audience here is that me and Alex here, we have very different taste in movies. I don't think that's a hot take. That's not.
It's not a hot
Yeah,
take.
no, we both like very different kinds of films, but we both watch a lot of the same films at the same time. And Lord of the Rings, that really says it all. Because
Yeah.
you don't like Lord of the Rings, right? I'm the one who really likes it.
Yeah, I don't like it. I think it's boring.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get most of it.
Yeah, I feel you
Like,
there.
it's long, especially the extended versions are long. They just add in scenes that don't really make sense.
Yep.
Like all the characters, other than Sam, which I actually do agree with that. I think Sam definitely is like
Okay.
way better than Frodo. Frodo's just a whiny bitch. He just
I-
complains the entire time. you know?
Fucking hate Frodo. He's not a good character. Like,
I know
noth-
in universe,
Mhm.
like I know in universe when he gets closer to Mount Doom, like the
Yeah.
ring's supposed to get a tighter grip on him, but like
yeah,
he's just being just a piece of shit. He
exactly.
won't shut up and whine.
For your
just-
main character, it's hard to
Root for
like
him.
an unlikable protagonist. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't
He
know.
basically loves Gollum
Exactly.
till
Dick
Gollum
Gra-
bites his finger
Dude,
off.
He grabs Gollum's dick and shaft. He goes, dude,
Yeah,
that's
no.
what Frodo fucking does. While Sam is being the only reasonable person on that entire fucking journey. Yeah.
And Frodo he dismisses it and he
Yeah.
just treats him like shit. Like
Exactly.
he literally asks him to leave.
Dude,
Yet Sam is the better person and he actually doesn't leave and he
Yep.
saves him, but yeah.
it breaks my heart whenever Frodo's mean to Sam, dude.
Yeah,
But
no,
yeah.
I get that.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Now let's be serious here. All right. You love Lord of the Rings. All right. You gave
do.
all three
I do
films
love Lord of the
10 out of 10s. All right.
Easily. 10
Yeah.
out of 10.
I didn't. I did. All right.
Like,
Just
it's so funny. You gave it I can't even say his name. Shafrillis?
Shay Frillis.
Shay Frillis? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shay Frillis.
Uh-huh.
Shay Frillis is same ranking.
Yeah,
but-
that wasn't intentional, by the way. I wasn't doing it just to be like Shay Frillis, but
Yeah.
I made the argument in my review that Shay Frillis,
Tamatoa.
yeah, Mr. Tamatoa, because
Himself.
I watched a lot of his videos, and I think from what I know, he's not a Lord of the Rings fan. He's a very casual, not even a casual fan. He went into it blind, and I think going into it blind, not knowing any of it as an adult watching it, it's not the same as watching it as a kid and then watching it over and over and over again.
Which I have done.
Yeah, exactly. This is my first viewing of the trilogy as an 18-year-old, as someone who doesn't like a lot of blockbusters in general. So that might be another contributing factor. But yeah, no. I was kind of mixed on Lord of the Rings. Just to be clear, I don't think any of them are inherently bad films. because
Mhm.
I think they are well made for the most part, and they do a lot of different things pretty well. It's just that as a movie going experience, I wasn't that engaged, and I don't know, maybe I found it kind of boring. I said
Mhm.
that last episode, but yeah, I think the main issue is
Yeah.
that I find, especially Fellowship, just kind of boring.
Fellowship is my favorite one, actually.
That is
My
crazy.
favorite one.
I
Yeah, it's the one I've seen the most time. I've seen it in theaters,
hmm
extended.
yeah.
I've read the book.
Uh-huh.
I've seen it theatrical, I think one or two times, and then extended like a couple times
Damn.
at this point. And yeah, it is
All
by
right.
far my favorite one.
Could
Not too big into Two Towers, just because of the whole Mary Pippin end storyline. Just
really?
you can
Okay.
easily just take that out. It leads to them destroying Isengard in the end, so you can't
Yeah.
really take it out. But I think you can easily just like take most of that out. And
Mhm.
then Return of the King. I'm so tempted to just say it's Return of the King, but I have to make up an actual reason for that.
Mhm.
For me, I think it's just the battle in it. It's just awesome. Helm's Deep definitely is also up there. I think just like as an overall battle, I think Helm's Deep is a lot more condensed,
Helm's Deep's my
whereas the
favorite.
battle at Pelennor Fields is a little bit more scattered. So I can see why it
Yeah.
definitely loses in that
Mhm.
regard. And then just like grand scale of Return of the King, I
Yeah.
think definitely is a big factor
Uh-huh. I
too,
wouldn't I say
at least.
all right. Would you make an argument? All right, what would you make an argument for? For the climax of the trilogy, would you say it's the Two Towers or Return of the King?
Honestly, think Two
That's what
Towers.
I would think, but I
I
don't
think
know
Two
about
Towers
that.
because
Yeah.
like
It's the obviously the middle film, but
yeah, it's the one in the middle, but like
mhm.
as you said, like
Yeah.
similar to like Dune,
Mhm.
like Dune Part 1 is practically all just setting
Yeah,
up, world building,
exactly.
exposition. It does it well.
But
Probably to
it's
like a newcomer, it's kind of
mhm.
boring, but
Yeah.
someone who's seen like Lord of the Rings, it kind of just fits
Uh-huh.
that.
Yeah,
Like
it's very
Dune Part
similar.
2 is just when
Get
you just freaking
boom.
start.
Yeah, like
Like
as soon as you
that
watch Two
that
Towers.
worm right that worm what my
One
words.
wide.
That worm ride sequence
Yeah,
is one of the coolest modern things I've ever seen. And just like
honestly.
that whole track too.
Yeah, it's
Hans cooked.
dude.
I've never seen him cook before. It's
It
insane.
it goes so hard.
You
It's
know?
yeah, dude. Because I have wait. I'm gonna
Yeah.
disappear for a sec. Talk about anything you want.
Yeah, no. I should rewatch Dune now that I think about it. It's been a while. I don't know how I did both of those at the same day. I did those back to back. Like after Dune Part 1 ended, I was like, oh, I gotta do Part 2. But
Huh?
yeah, no.
Yeah,
Here it is.
I would love to do a double feature of those two. Wait, sorry.
It's interesting double feature.
Yeah,
It's
probably
at least like 4 to 5 hours, but yeah, it's worth it though.
yeah. No, because here I'll show the camera.
The
Wait, I
physical
got the
books.
first three Dune book, sorry, and the fourth one didn't come in a box set, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
actually I've been meaning to reread the books because yeah, no, Dune is like my favorite franchise ever. I don't like to say
can see that.
franchise, but
Oh.
that's the only way to describe it.
I mean, you could say series.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
series sounds better.
that's the thing. Like compared to something like the Godzilla franchise,
That is
there's
yeah,
a difference. Like
it's more
oh, yeah, here's
commercial.
Shin, by the way, the best one in my opinion.
Yeah,
It's like the Godzilla
I agree.
franchise is like the merchandise, the video games, like stuff like that, whereas the series is like the actual physical movies.
Yeah,
So
for
if you're
sure.
saying like Dune as a series, you're referring to like the films and stuff, not so much like all the extra stuff, which is the overarching franchise. So I think that's
Yeah.
like a common misconception that people will
Mhm.
usually say. It's like, oh, it's a film franchise, and I'm like, no, it's just like just the
That's-
movies as like a
exactly.
series. But
Yeah, no, I see what you
know.
mean.
I don't know.
No, I get that. Yeah, franchise definitely means more of like branding and everything like that. But yeah, okay. So you want to go back to Lord of the Rings,
Yeah, just a
or
little bit, and then we can
okay,
like segment into something else. Yeah.
okay. So can we? I don't think we've heard you say what you exactly like about Lord of the Rings. So now
Oh, yeah.
here's your chance to
I think that
defend
would add a
yourself.
little bit more context to be
Yeah,
like, yeah, like
I know you like them, but
think
why?
yeah, why do I like Lord of the Rings? I think for me it was just like I think it mainly stems from the extended editions.
Mm.
Because like how you say, like, all the just theatricals, they go from point A to point B, and then you're at point Z, and you're like,
Hmm.
okay, like I'm supposed to just go roll with this, and then we're back to point A.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, what just happened? Whereas
Exactly.
extendeds for me kind of like fix the overall just pacing of it.
Okay.
Sure, a lot of the scenes, a lot of people will be like, why is this in here? But for
Hmm.
me at least, it kind of like stabilizes it a
Yeah.
little bit more. So that's what kind of helps me at least.
Hmm.
Obviously, for you, it could be a little bit different.
Maybe.
I like everyone, again, other than Frodo,
Okay.
easily just no.
Yeah.
Gandalf's cool.
Uh
He's
huh.
really cool, actually. And obviously, he has his moments. He comes back as like Gandalf the White, which is cool.
I like that.
Like, also how like in Fellowship you see Minas Tirith, and I always say like, oh, that's gonna come in later, and then
Huh.
that actually takes place in Return of the King when
Okay.
Gandalf's off to like figure out what's like the ring is about
Oh yeah.
and stuff,
Yeah.
and it shows the shot of him like on his horse,
Uh
and
huh.
you see the white Minas Tirith on the right, and I'm
That's
always like,
cool.
ooh, that's gonna come in later. So
All
there's
right.
that.
Yeah.
Um, I like Legolas.
Uh,
Mainly, again, it kind of stems from The Hobbit, which is its whole other can of worms. I don't
yeah.
think we'll get into because,
No, I
quite
haven't seen The
frankly, you
Hobbit.
are not interested. So,
Yeah.
you know,
No. I've heard The
third one's
Hobbit
cool.
is good.
Yeah, because it's one book, but
Mm-hmm.
Peter Jackson was like, okay, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it like The Lord of the Rings. So why don't we
Yeah.
just make a whole bunch of shit up and spread it across 3 movies?
And apparently that
So
didn't go out so well. So
yeah.
I know
I mean, I enjoy them. I
yeah.
enjoy them for what they are, but Lord of the Rings is objectively better.
Okay, that makes
Yeah, no.
sense. I know what's the name? Guillermo del Toro was originally gonna do
Yeah.
two Hobbit movies. Like
And
a
then he
part
kind
one
of
like Dune.
yeah,
But and I think that would have been interesting because
that
Del
would have
Toro.
because yeah, Del Toro right now I think is my second favorite director of all
Wow.
time. It's crazy because I've only
Yeah.
seen like a couple of his films,
Uh
but
huh.
I think when it comes to like liking directors, it
Mm-hmm.
isn't necessarily the films that they make. It's kind of who they are as people. Because that's why I like Chris Nolan a lot.
Yeah, Christopher
Um,
Nolan's your favorite, right?
right
Maybe.
now he's my favorite,
Okay.
like number one right now.
Yeah,
Uh,
that makes sense.
like you can probably argue like a lot of his films
Mm-hmm.
probably aren't like the greatest of all time, but I feel like just him as like a person,
Mm-hmm.
mainly when it revolves around physical media, definitely is
Yeah.
something that I like.
Uh huh.
Then Guillermo's just cool.
Guillermo
It's just
fucks.
he's a really like interesting guy. Like he makes like
Mm-hmm.
different movies because I still need to see Pan's Labyrinth, which is
Same.
like probably like his magnum opus.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's
I
like the
have
one
the
film everyone talks about.
I have the DVD
Yeah.
somewhere in my room. I need to watch it.
I know. I want to get the Criterion of
Oh
that, and I heard that
yeah.
was better than the actual 4K of it.
Mm-hmm. Which is kind of funny, but
That's funny.
yeah.
Again, physical media is a whole other
Yes.
can of worms.
We could have an entire episode dedicated to physical media, and we'd be here all day.
Yeah. No.
uh,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, I loved The Shape of Water. That
Mm-hmm.
surprised me because that was practically.
Yeah.
I'll grab it right here because I have the Criterion of
Oh
it.
yeah. Very
But yeah,
nice.
this was a surprising buy.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's very specific, so it probably won't work for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it won Best Picture that year. That's the thing. It won Best Picture over Lady Bird and Get Out,
Do you
which is
agree with that?
crazy. I think Lady Bird is better.
Okay.
I think if I had to rank them, it would go
Yeah.
Lady Bird, The Shape of Water, and then Get Out.
Okay. That
This would
sounds.
be like my top three, like for that year.
Mm.
But yeah, I think as a film, Lady Bird definitely is more accessible, whereas this one is
Yeah.
definitely a lot more like artistic.
I know.
Which I can see why they picked it over it, but
Yeah.
that blew my mind. I was like, damn, bro.
Because I know a lot of people didn't. It's not that they didn't like Shape of Water, but it seemed they either didn't understand it or didn't really understand what it was going for. Um,
Mhm.
but or some people would just say it's kind of forgettable. But I haven't seen the film, so I'm
I
not.
think Sir Phyllis said,
Yeah,
I can't say his name correctly, but you know,
you
he
were
said
right.
it's
Shape
like the most like forgettable Best Picture winner, and I
Yeah.
completely understand that. But as someone who's like kind of gotten like
to know
Yeah.
the man, I can kind of see where
Yeah.
I definitely loved it a lot more than a lot of people.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely cool. I think it's if
Mm.
you like a movie, then that's good.
Yeah.
For in most scenarios, it's better to like. It's a good thing to like a movie, and
Mhm.
if person A says, "Oh, I didn't like this movie," that doesn't mean that you should feel bad about not liking it, or you shouldn't feel bad for liking it. It should just
Mhm.
mean you should be glad that someone else did enjoy it while you didn't. Like Lord of the Rings, let's because like
Exactly. We
yeah, all
always go
right.
back to Lord
I
of the
wasn't
Rings.
crazy about Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings, but you love all three movies. I think that's awesome.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Mhm.
I think I wish I could love all three films, but I
Yeah,
just
that's
didn't.
the thing that a lot of people, I feel like, when they watch films, they
Yeah.
kind of like realize like, oh, I have to like this
Yeah.
because it's like the big thing that
Mhm.
everyone says, and I feel
Yep.
like to me that's just a lot more interesting. And when people say like
Mhm.
I didn't like something that
Yeah.
is like universally like praised beyond
Exactly.
oblivion, I feel
And
like that's just as interesting as
as
hearing people as to why they love something like Lord of the Rings or
yeah.
Dune or something.
Yeah.
People say Dune is boring,
And I
which is crazy, and I can
okay.
see why,
I
but
I
yeah,
love
no.
Dune, but if someone says they didn't like the first movie, I completely understand because it's a lot of talking. There's not a lot going on. Um, but if someone said Dune Part Two was a bad movie, then I would like punch them. But
Yeah, no.
I
A
that's
little
where
bit
I
extreme.
yeah no I would have to understand what you didn't like about it specifically because that movie kind of does everything great.
Yeah, no.
It's just a little long, but besides that.
Because that reminds me that I do need to rewatch Oppenheimer.
Oh yeah.
'Cause again, that was one that I just like I watched it and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was good,
Yeah.
pretty good.
Um.
There's a
I.
lot of this, and then just one boom, and that was it. Yeah.
Sorry. Let me pull something
Yeah,
up
you do
real
have
quick.
the
I've got the book,
yeah.
American
You
Prometheus,
just have the book.
and I have the Blu-ray somewhere too.
Yeah, but
Oppenheimer
yeah, you
is
have
my
the book.
favorite Christopher Nolan film. So
Can see why.
yeah, we
Can
definitely
see why.
we differ there. Like we differ in a lot of
Yeah.
things.
I think right now Interstellar is my favorite Nolan film right now. Is
I like
Interstellar.
I like Interstellar a lot. It's a kind of an amazing film. I don't think it's
Yeah.
I don't think it's perfect.
No.
Not for me at least, but I could see if someone were to say it's a perfect film, I wouldn't argue with it.
I think for me it's just like the first half
Yeah.
just takes its time
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
bit much, and it's only when they actually get onto the ship and it
Mm-hmm.
starts and they get to the planet, which
Yeah.
the fact that's Iceland is crazy. That
It's
is
great.
actually
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
No, Nolan is kind of a master at not using CGI or as little CGI as possible, and I love that.
I know most of Dunkirk was practical
Yep.
from what I know, and obviously for Oppenheimer, he had like the actual sets, he went to
Yep.
the actual places
He
and
made it.
everything.
He built an actual nuke and then he detonated it at a small
He
city.
detonated it.
Yeah, he killed like a couple thousand people, but he made a really good movie in the process. So,
Yeah. And the cornfield in Interstellar, he actually planted, or he got someone to
yeah,
plant it and then he sold it afterwards.
that's cool.
Like, that's
Yeah.
just, yeah, no.
But yeah, I do like Nolan. He's one of my not my favorite directors, but he's one of the best directors, just like in general.
Yeah, you want to know who else is an amazing director?
I think I know where this is.
Kurosawa.
I
He's
knew.
number 3 right now. He's number 3.
Okay. I'm
I mean, I've seen 12 of them, so I can kind of like get it.
12's a
But
lot.
yeah, right now he's number 3. The work, if there's one thing that Kurosawa is probably like known for is that this man's
Yeah.
work ethic is unlike any director I have ever seen.
Yeah,
In his like 50 or like something decades,
Mhm.
he probably made a movie like almost every year
He
for
has
like decades.
an insane
Is
filmography.
insane, bro.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen any other director just
Mm-hmm.
do that.
No, he was locked in for like his
Like,
entire life.
He did he did Drunken Angel, he did Stray Dogs,
Yeah.
and then he did Rashomon in like 3 years.
That's insane.
Yeah, no.
So now here's another part where we kind of differentiate. because I like Kurosawa. There's a lot of Kurosawa films I like. I wouldn't say from the 5 Kurosawa films I've seen, that's not a lot. But
10, 12.
yeah, all right. There's only one that I would consider a masterpiece, which is High and Low. But I think his other film,
not too big into that.
which is that's where we also differentiate. But yeah, no, I don't think his films are perfect for the most part. But I do think they are really good.
No,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like, I think the problem I have with High and Low is that I think the first hour is practically perfect.
Oh yeah,
You
for
cannot
sure.
get any better than that when it comes to like a crime drama. At least I think the only thing that would exceed that
Yeah,
memory is Zodiac right now. That is just like all time favorite crime
I can
movie
see
right
that.
now. But no, like High and Low's 1 hour
Uh-huh.
practically perfect.
I
And then the
agree.
second hour is kind of where it meanders a little bit. The whole character thing.
Yeah.
It's like the job is done. They
Uh-huh.
found it. Well, they got the kid. They found the guy, and now they're trying to figure out who the guy is.
Yeah.
I feel like without the tension of the phone, like them waiting for the phone and
Yep.
stuff like that, I feel like it kind of took me out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
It's still an amazing film. It's just I think the first half is just way stronger than the second for me.
Okay. I agree with you there. I do think the first half is better, but I think the second half isn't worse. To me, it's just
It's weak. I think the better word to use is weak. Just a little weak.
maybe weak, but I think
Instead of using like bad, 'cause
yeah. No.
when people say it's bad, I'm talking about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Where it's weak, for me, weak is kind of like the substitute for that. Like there's
Uh-huh.
stuff that works in it, and then there's other stuff that just doesn't. And that's
Yeah.
usually why I try and use like weak instead of just saying the whole entire thing is just bad.
Yeah.
Which is not the case.
Yeah. I think the second half, I wouldn't even say the second half is weaker. For me, I feel like it's just a different film altogether. It feels like High and Low
Yeah.
are 2 separate films. You have the first half,
Exactly.
which is
You got the high of the first half,
Yeah.
and you kind of got the low of the second half. Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's low. I think it's just it's more action paced, or like it's like an action detective film.
Yeah.
And it tries to. There's this idea or whatever that the detectives are on the lower side of, like, you know, the social classes, right?
Society, yeah.
You have the rich guy who lives literally and figuratively above everyone else,
Aye.
and then you have the detectives trying to find the guy the criminal who is at the low, and they're at the low or at the least middle, but they even say it, it's like, yeah, all right, they're more like the criminal than the rich guy. And I think that sort of I don't know what the word, not dilemma, but that more juxtaposition or whatever, I think,
Yeah, there you go.
yeah, it's super fascinating, and it's really interesting to see, you know, are the rich inherently evil, or are they inherently good? Is it a mix? Is it whatever? And then that ending, I really love that ending, because you have that scene where the criminal and Mifune's character, they're at like the little window or whatever, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, he gives that crazy monologue about like the AC and everything, and how hot and freezing cold it would get. But another important thing to note for me, I don't know if you remember this, but at the end, the rich guy, he doesn't go broke, but he loses a lot of his money.
It's very close.
Yeah, and
Like the newspaper shows, like, oh,
Yeah.
like this whole thing kind of like toppled his empire a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so now he's middle class now, and
Yeah.
I think he's kind of, in the view of the film, he's kind of saved from that fate of becoming like this evil upper class guy. Actually, I just realized this. You know what High and Low kind of reminds me of?
But
Parasite.
that actually isn't far off.
Yeah.
Just think about it. You have a lower class family
Mhm.
who's barely making ends meet,
Yep.
and then they find a higher class family, and they basically just infiltrate their entire life,
Yep.
and then
The-
it gets crazy afterwards.
Literally. I wouldn't be
makes a lot of
surprised
sense.
if Parasite was influenced by High and Low now. But
No, because Parasite is.
yeah. Exactly.
I got the hype for that movie once I watched it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in years, but it's really good. But yeah, no, I think High and Low is the original Parasite in my eyes. It's also a masterpiece. But maybe another thing is that I don't think I like Kurosawa's samurai films all that much.
Yeah,
I don't
no, I
know.
think right now Seven Samurai is number one.
Yeah,
Still, it is
it's
still number one.
it's on your letterbox. It's also your
Yeah,
fourth
no.
favorite film.
Yeah, right now at least.
Mm-hmm.
It's my fourth favorite film
Yeah.
because it just was. Obviously it's long.
Mm-hmm.
I think his only like second longest one is Kagemusha, which I still need to see.
Same.
But the
Yeah.
thing about Seven Samurai is that for me it was like a culmination of just
Mm-hmm.
everything I love about Japanese cinema.
Yeah.
Like you have Takashi Shimura, who's in the original Godzilla and a ton of other Kurosawa movies. He's practically as many of them as Mifune is in, which
Yeah.
is funny enough. And you have Mifune, who, oh my god, once you watch stuff like Redbeard and
Mm-hmm.
freaking, I think Redbeard is definitely like his one of his best performances I've seen,
Okay.
without spoiling everything.
Yeah. I don't.
But
I
yeah,
don't
no,
want. I don't know. I haven't seen Redbeard. But that's one of
highly
his highest
recommended.
rated films. Yeah. I do want to check it out.
And it is his last collaboration, which was sad.
Yep.
Which is something that Ran. I'll also get into Ran afterwards, but
Yeah.
going back to Seven Samurai, it just kind of has everything
Uh huh.
I love about Japanese cinema. You got samurais.
Yeah.
You have some of the best black and white cinematography I've ever seen. Everyone says it about Kurosawa is like
Yeah.
he just knows how to block, and I can see that
Uh
when
huh.
you watch Seven Samurai. Just the placement of everything. It's
Yeah.
just like so intentional. The rain in
Mm-hmm.
Seven Samurai. Like I can still see things. That is something that no
Yeah.
other film has done when it comes to night scenes and weather. I'm looking
Yeah.
at you, Godzilla King of the Monsters 2019. I
What?
cannot see a single thing
What do
when the
you mean?
battles are happening.
There were crystal clear skies for all of Godzilla King of the
Yeah, no.
Monster.
Yeah, no.
Ugh.
Yeah, no, there's that.
Yeah.
The acting.
All right.
Freaking Mifune's famous just like when he's going off on all the other samurai and he's like jumping around and shit.
Yeah.
It's
A lot of
awesome.
physicality in him.
Oh my god, yeah. He's
Yeah.
just insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
He's great.
The music when it came in
Mm-hmm.
and just like yeah, just the overall aura of the entire movie just definitely was captivating.
I feel you there.
Yeah.
For me, I think I the best way to summarize it is that I feel like Kurosawa is kind of like the Japanese Spielberg for me, where I think Spielberg makes a lot of great films that are really iconic, but none of them really feel like masterpieces to me. I feel
Yeah.
like they're these great bombastic sort of adventure film with a lot of action and cool and really cool moments or whatever. But as a whole experience, I feel like it falls a little flat for me, maybe. Um, but I don't know, cause I think I feel like Seven Samurai. There's not a lot going on in it for me to be that interested, and I don't feel like there's a real. This sounds weird, but a real purpose to it. Like I didn't understand any of its themes or if it really had any. But I don't know. Maybe a film doesn't need that.
Well, yeah, because definitely a lot goes on in Seven Samurai that I think on a second viewing I'll definitely understand a lot more.
Mm.
I can definitely see where you're getting at. Although obviously not every single film has to have some form of thematic messaging and whatnot. Which is
Yeah.
actually a lot of the problems of just modern films is that they're trying to push this whole like message that everyone is just like, we did not need this. I just need to watch a movie, shut my brain off, and just eat my popcorn in the theater. But I don't know. That's just me though. With all this just messaging and stuff. Yeah, you're kind of iffy on that.
You're starting to lose me here, buddy. You're
Kind of going off. Right
okay.
now.
All right. I think film is an art form, and I think most
Yeah.
art has a purpose to it. At least good art should have a purpose to it. I don't think a movie should have nothing interesting to say at all, because then that would be boring.
Well,
but I
yeah.
don't know. I'm a big fan of David Lynch and Ingmar Bergman. Those
There you
guys,
go.
they're philosophical human, not even human, just creatures, philosophical creatures.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. That's the stuff I sort of vibe with. Things that I can just like think about all day and still not get any clear answer. I think those are the best kind of films for me, at least. And
Like they leave it up to like the audience's interpretation
yeah,
without being like too confusing,
uh-huh,
convoluted.
exactly.
Yeah.
I think you
Mhm.
shouldn't just have randomness, but um, you shouldn't have randomness. You should have a point, but also don't bash that point in the viewer's face. Don't be like, this is
Yeah.
the message. This is the message. What's that one film? Don't Look Up. I think it was called the Leo film. I
Oh yeah,
think,
I think Max saved me from it. Another a part
yeah,
of our film
yes.
series group. He practically explained the entirety of that movie in like
Mm-hmm.
2 to 5 sentences, and I was just
Yeah.
like, yeah, I
It's,
think you just saved me from watching a 2 hour, 3 hour movie about climate change with a
yeah.
meteor coming down.
My
Yeah.
parents saw it. They said it was good, but also they're my parents, and as
Yeah,
much as I love,
parents' tastes, man.
yeah, dude.
That is an enigma in and out of itself.
Yep.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, man. Sometimes they'll find the weirdest things, but you just gotta shut up sometimes and let them enjoy it.
But you're just dying inside.
Yeah,
It's just like,
yeah.
why do you
You
like
know,
this?
like maybe one of my lungs just kind of dies, and then I start choking for a little bit, but then I just
Yeah.
move on. Um,
Mhm.
but no, yeah, Don't Look Up, and just like the idea of yeah, I get where you understand where you're coming from, as in the idea of films pushing a message too hard, but I think there should be that nice in between of having
Yeah.
something to say instead of having nothing to say and um, too much to say. I don't know.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, or not enough to say.
Mhm.
But I
Yeah,
don't know.
no.
Yeah. So your favorite Kurosawa film, Seven Samurai, yeah?
Still Seven Samurai.
Okay.
Although you could probably argue, I think, because I've seen The Hidden Fortress, which, created this thing right here as we know it.
Oh yeah.
Because,
Star Trek.
you know.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Star Trek.
Yep.
You know the whole
Yeah.
this whole thing going on. Yeah, that thing.
No, don't fuck off. You
Yeah.
you remembered I can't do it. I can't do
Yeah,
the
I
hand
could do
thing.
it.
I
could do it on
can't.
both.
There you go. Boom. I did it.
Yeah, you did it.
All right. But yeah,
Yeah.
I know Hidden Fortress was super influential for George Lucas, but I've also heard that a lot of people say it's one of Kurosawa's weaker films.
That's funny because not only did I give it a 5,
Mm-hmm.
I also just loved it.
That's
What it
cool.
was. It's
That
like
makes
I can see the Star Wars influence in it,
yeah.
and at the same time, I kind of just treated it as its like own thing.
Uh-huh.
I just really enjoyed it. Again, probably more than just the average person, because again, I'm
Yeah.
more versed in just like
Mm-hmm.
Japanese culture, how it is, how their movies are, and so that definitely helps too.
Okay.
But no,
That
The
makes a
Hidden
little
Fortress. I wouldn't say it's his weakest. I
uh-huh.
think right now, Drunken Angel is like his weakest one right
Yeah.
now. But
I
yeah,
saw
no.
that. That also seemed like a bit of a hot take from you, because if I
Yeah.
were I'm gonna look it up real quick.
I just I
Yeah.
don't know what it was. It's his most visually impaired one, although that could be just like a transfer thing. Probably back
Mm.
in the day it was fine, but
Yeah. Maybe
can it be transfer? It just wasn't as like clear as a lot of his other stuff is.
that sucks.
Just the story was just I was not interested. I think like the
Damn.
first like couple like 30 minutes of it was
Uh-huh.
kind of good, and then it kind of just I slowly was just like, okay, what's the point here? Why is there still like an hour left? And I'm just like, well,
Damn. Okay, pacing
it's
issues.
weird. Stray Dogs for me slightly better.
Okay.
That was 30 minutes more
Damn.
of Drunken Angel, but
Uh-huh.
it's a smidge better. But yeah, I'm not the that's probably because I'm not the biggest fan of just like his older 40s 50s style before like
Yeah.
Rashomon, and that's kind of where it goes up
Okay. That makes sense at least.
afterwards. But yeah, no.
Okay. Yeah, because it has on not to say your opinion's wrong, but on Letterboxd it has a average of around a 4 out of 5. So
Yeah, I don't.
yeah, I don't agree with that.
Obviously, everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Not
Not
everyone,
one
but
person's opinion is the overall best opinion, but for me, it didn't do much. And that's kind of what a lot of other like really big, popular, like highly average rated movies are for me. Like
yeah.
I either love it or it
Mm-hmm.
didn't do a lot for me.
Yeah. That makes sense. For sure.
Like for example, Inception
Uh-huh.
hailed as like a masterpiece and like one of Nolan's like amazing films. Where
Yeah.
right now it's a 3,
That is
considering that has like an average of like 4 to 5 star reviews, and I'm just
yeah.
like,
No, that's
didn't really
crazy.
do much. I didn't think the execution of like the idea of Inception just like kept me in like the
Yeah.
movie.
I still want to watch
Yeah.
it, but from what I've seen, it at least looks cool visually. There's a lot of
It is
cool
cool
ideas
visually.
there.
I will give it to that. It is
Okay.
very cool visually. The score, the track Time,
Yeah.
one of Hans's best like tracks that he's ever done.
Okay.
I don't know. It just didn't. The cast is great, by the way, too. I
Yep.
should say that as well. But
Hmm.
no, I just didn't think it did a lot because the whole point of it back in 2010 was like the Inception's like this ultra confusing,
Yeah.
convoluted mess.
Uh-huh.
And then I watched it and I was like, guys, it's not that confusing.
Oh wow, you're flexing right now. You're showing off.
Honestly, yeah.
Wow. Wow.
And
Yeah.
then there's Tenet. And there's Tenet, guys.
Was Tenet confusing?
Yes. And I'm not even just like saying
Yeah.
that. It actually is genuinely confusing.
Okay.
It makes Inception and Memento
Uh-huh.
look like cakewalks in comparison. Which is
Damn.
what I said in my review, but I know
Mhm.
Tenet is his weakest one right now.
I think
And
most
people love that movie, and I get it, but
I know
don't know
most
if
people
they even
hate
do.
Tenet. Yeah.
I
I
will
feel
say
like-
I was lucky.
yeah.
I could hear the dialogue because that was like a whole spiel. Everyone was like, I can't even hear him and
Damn.
stuff because
Mhm.
Nolan's not really known for using like the highest end like Dolby Atmos tracks. He usually
Yeah.
sticks to like a 5.1, which is like
Uh-huh.
usual standard most films do. And people were just saying like I can't hear like their voices and stuff.
Yeah.
And
That's
also, he's also known for the IMAX sequences, which is
Mhm.
just a fancy way of saying it's full screen, like it covers the entire screen.
yep.
Apparently, that was going like this, like every like minute or so, like it was
Oh.
switching very rapidly.
That sucks.
I didn't get that; it was just
Yeah.
widescreen the entire time, so that definitely helped. But yeah,
Okay.
no, right now it's his weakest for me right now.
All right. I do want to check it out just to see why so many people don't like it.
Yeah, because I
yeah.
don't know. I just thought it was just very confusing, even for my brain. I mean, everyone does fine. I think
Yeah.
the cast is fine. Like everyone does their job. It's just like
Uh-huh.
the actual like narrative just is all over. Like it will go up,
Mhm.
then it'll go down.
Yeah.
And then you have a little squiggly here, and it'll go up again.
Uh-huh.
And it goes down, and a little squiggly. So it's kind of all over the place for me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Nolan's very every time you watch a Nolan film, you know it's going to be a little confusing. And I
Yeah.
think Tenet, for good or worse, was Nolan just kind of doing whatever the hell he wanted to do.
Mhm.
And I think that's kind of interesting, at least.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because obviously he's known for the non-linear structure. and
Yes.
I just feel like Tenet,
hmm
because again, like stuff like Memento, The Prestige, and Inception are
Yeah.
probably like in the middle.
Mhm.
Tenet is like all the way up here.
Yeah, it's
It's
bad,
like all the way up there.
for sure.
Definitely is to like the film's detriment. And I think
Mhm.
another one that also is a little confusing is Batman Begins.
I haven't seen Batman Begins.
I have
and-
watched that movie like 3-4 times, I think, at this point, and I
Yeah.
still don't understand it.
Damn.
Like,
Yeah,
I still don't get it.
I saw it like a decade ago. I knew nothing. I saw Scarecrow for like a couple seconds, and
Yeah,
yeah.
just for a couple minutes, like
Yeah.
young Killian Murphy for like a couple minutes, and then yeah,
Yep. Boom.
yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
just-
You know my thoughts on The Dark Knight and everything, and that trilogy.
it's
Um,
it's basically like your opinion of the Lord of the Rings. You think it's overrated?
very
kind
similar.
of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
I mean,
that-
I said it was perfect. So
another
I mean,
another one
and
of
I-
those.
and I-
Yeah.
yeah, and I quote, "It was perfect, perfect, everything down to the last minute details." Which obviously, you know.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I know for me, I do feel Spider-Man 2 It's definitely like the better like comic book movie.
Yeah.
And then people will just say like, oh, it's The Dark Knight. It's automatically this masterpiece. Whereas I think for me, it's obviously Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yeah.
Obviously, we can go back and forth on who's Joker, who's Batman is like better, but for me, it's Heath Ledger right now.
I don't agree with
And
you.
then I know.
We'll leave it at that.
You're gonna say Joaquin. You're probably gonna say Joaquin right now. You're gonna say it.
Mark Hamill.
Actually, that's not that bad. Yeah, that's not that bad.
Oh yeah, gotcha there.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah, he got me there, but
Oh yeah.
I like the action. I like when the IMAX sequences come in. I like the whole bank robbery sequence in the beginning.
Yeah.
Obviously, the music by Hans and I forget who else was it. I think it was James Newton Howard as well. He's known for like Avatar and whatnot. So
Okay.
still need to see Avatar. Although, again, James Cameron.
Exactly.
But anyways, you want to know the funniest thing? Completely off topic. You want to know the funniest thing that my mom said at one point?
What is it?
It was probably like one of the greatest film takes I've ever seen.
Okay.
You said that Titanic is overrated, and I completely agree with that.
I do agree.
Right.
I do agree with you. My dad doesn't agree with you. It's maybe his top 3 favorite film ever.
Like, really?
Yeah. No, he loves Titanic.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he thinks Titanic is a masterpiece. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
No,
Yeah.
It is overrated, guys. Even back then, nobody wanted to see a movie like that. At least like opening, like when it first came out, like opening weekend. Compared to all this other stuff, it didn't do so well, and then obviously it just casually made $2.3 billion. So, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Titanic. Ugh. James Cameron.
But watch that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Considering I've seen Gone with the Wind. Oh yeah, Gone with the Wind debacle.
Gone with the Wind. You didn't like it. You didn't like it.
That is right now the worst movie I've ever seen.
Insane.
In my entire life. Ben-Hur is way better than that. Okay. That came out 20 years later. Okay. So I'm not just being like a ding-a-ling ding-dong. I just no. If you think war films are propaganda, again, like I said in my review, you have not seen this movie. I don't even know if I want to recommend it to you.
Damn.
No, dude.
I mean,
it's a 3-hour, 40-minute rom-com basically made in the 1930s, 1939, so practically the year World War II started.
Yep.
By the same guy who made Wizard of Oz, which is also a better movie in general. Victor Fleming. It's if anything, it's more problematic to me than King Kong, and that's already problematic with what that film is. But
no, I did look it up. Well, not King Kong, but Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind.
Yeah, I saw. Since you hated it, I wanted to see if other people thought it was like a racist film and everything. And
I think it's a masterpiece. I think it's an absolute masterpiece. Like, actually, I'm not even joking.
They say that it's a two-parter. It's a two-parter. They say, it's a masterpiece, and it's pro-Confederate, and that's.
There's like this one dance scene. There's Confederate flags like everywhere. I'm not even kidding. Like, there's literally Confederate flags just everywhere during this dance scene.
Like, that wouldn't be like. It wouldn't be as bad if the film at least like kind of makes a point that it's not good, but it doesn't.
No, I think it embraces it.
Yeah,
I think it embraces the fact that it's bad.
From what you say and from what everyone else says, it seems like they're kind of into it, and that isn't cool if true.
It's no Birth of a Nation, which is even worse.
Yeah, that's just directly
I said
racist.
in my review.
Yeah,
like that's deliberately like racist. Like
everyone knows
but
that.
Gone with the Wind is not quite that level, but it's almost there for me. It is almost there. But
that's kind of scary.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, the 1930s.
Crazy times.
And then Ben-Hur, my 500th logged film.
That is interesting. I didn't know
Yeah.
much about Ben-Hur. And then once you watched it, I looked at it and it's like, oh, Judah, that guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that guy.
I had no clue. I had no clue it was about Judah. I knew nothing about it, so that was kind of funny. But yeah, I hear it's really good from what people say.
Yeah, because I think originally my 500th one was actually going to be Schindler's List.
Mm.
Then I was on like a long streak of like all these classic movies, so I was just
Yeah.
like maybe at another time.
Okay.
So I was kind of juggling either Lawrence of Arabia,
Mm-hmm.
the 50s version of The Ten Commandments
Yeah.
by again Cecil B. DeMille, Cecil B. Demented.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Love that movie.
then Ben-Hur, and
Mm.
then Ben-Hur was the largely available one. That movie is on Tubi.
Yeah,
That's
that's
on
funny.
A 3-hour, 40-minute biblical epic is
Uh-huh.
on Tubi.
I mean,
So
with Tubi you have ads, so I feel like that must have been rough.
that is true though. It's a lot.
Damn.
A lot of ad breaks, but yeah, no, that right there is an epic.
Mm-hmm.
Because those rarely get made nowadays, like a full classic Hollywood epic, but
For sure.
that definitely is an epic through and through. And similar to The Godfather, which obviously it's The Godfather.
Godfather
But
is great.
like similar to The Godfather, it's never boring.
Mm-hmm.
For me at least.
That's
Like
good.
throughout the entire thing, I'm interested.
Yeah.
Similar to like the Corleone family, where I'm interested in the entire like 3 hour of that.
Uh-huh.
I'm kind of interested because I'm also a historical person, so that also helps.
Yep.
Interested in see how like Judah like gets out of this, how he fights Masala,
Mm-hmm.
in the famous 9-minute chariot race. That is up there,
Yeah.
like one of the coolest things I have ever seen in like any film ever.
Wow.
like,
yeah, no.
Without like all the technical stuff with that, they made an actual set Coliseum.
I saw that clip on Twitter. It was actually like I think it was the same day that you watched it, or like right after, which was kind of funny. And it looks kind of crazy. So that's cool.
Oh my god! When people say like, "Oh, they don't make films like those anymore,"
Yeah.
when you watch freaking Ben-Hur, then you'll know, bro. Yeah, like I said in my review, yeah, an actual set Coliseum, like real horses,
Yep.
and like hundreds of thousands of extras. Like those are all real people in those stands in that Coliseum. And there's no music when it's happening. There's no music, and it's just awesome.
Wow.
It's really awesome. It's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I think the only thing that would beat that, what I've like learned from like records and stuff, is the Gandhi funeral scene in the movie Gandhi. Where they got like tens of hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah.
Like in just like one shot for that funeral scene, I think is the only thing that like beats and her on like a technical level. But
Okay.
yeah, no, that film was just
Yeah.
actually awesome.
Sounds cool.
It was actually awesome.
I definitely
Again,
want to check it
it's
out.
probably very specific, but and obviously you're an atheist, so all the like biblical religious references
Just
will
gonna, yeah, a little
probably
over my head.
go. Yeah, but
Not that
I think as a
interesting.
film,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But as a film, it was just awesome.
Yeah.
Really, it was really awesome.
Sure. All right. That sounds interesting.
Then I watched Trip to the Moon afterwards. I watch a 15-minute, 10-minute short.
I like Trip to the Moon. It's fun. It's cute.
I have seen that before in elementary. From what I remember, is insane. It was that and The Nutcracker.
That's so
which is
cool.
another random film I also just revisited at some point. But
Nice. All right. Yeah. No, that is sick. All right. So, I think right now, I think there are two more things I kind of want to talk about just a little bit before we wrap this up.
a little bit. Yeah.
So today is Father's Day, and it is as of recording. This will probably be out later, but So let's talk about any films you've seen either recently or just films you love that are mainly about dads or have dads in them.
I don't. That's. Huh.
Was there any dad in Ben-Hur? I don't know.
Actually, no. It was just Ben-Hur and his family just going on, chilling during the Roman Empire.
Okay.
And he meets Jesus in it.
That's cool.
I mean, that's kind of like I don't know.
I guess, I don't know. He's a father
Kinda
figure.
is,
I don't
isn't
know.
it?
I guess, yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, don't
Let's
worry,
see.
because I also had to write some
Oh,
down before.
Ran. Ran, there's one. That's
Okay.
one.
Is it a
I'm
good
like,
dad?
uh, I mean, like he has the best of like intentions of like
Yeah.
splitting his kingdom up. It's based on King Lear,
Mm.
Shakespeare.
Okay.
He has the like intentions of like splitting his kingdom up between like his three sons.
Yeah.
Then he kind of like gets like loses like all his like power and status. Like one of
Uh-huh.
his sons basically takes like full control. Then he
Yeah.
kind of just like is like wandering around. He goes to his
Mm-hmm.
two other sons.
Okay.
One of the without spoiling it,
Yeah. I
goes around to those.
yeah.
Just he just gets older and older throughout the film, and it's just like
Yeah.
sad.
That's
Admittedly, it's pretty sad.
interesting. Yeah. I know I don't know the ending, but I know people love that ending. So I do want to check it out.
Ran, yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I watched let me check my notes. The first film I
Superman.
watched for the first dad film I watched was Paris,
Oh, okay.
Texas. Um but yeah,
I've been interested in that film. I don't know what it is. Ever since I've been like getting into
yeah.
like Criterion and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's just been one that's just I don't know, been on my eye for a while, but I never was like in the mood for it.
Same here. I mainly heard about it because a lot of people on Twitter love it. Like the film community on Twitter love Paris, Texas. And then there was a recent 4K release, the Criterion 4K
Yeah,
for Paris, Texas, and people told me that it was like the most beautiful like looking film ever, and it kind of is. Yeah, it's a really good looking film. And it's also a very compelling drama. um, it's made by Wim Wenders, I believe that's how you say it. Wim Wenders. He also made Perfect Days, Wings of Desire, which are also very popular films. And it's a very there's a car passing.
Hey, car.
There's
Oh, I do want to do Perfect Days. That feels
yeah.
right up my alley from what I've heard from Zach, another
Yep.
film shitter, and because
Yeah.
he's seen it.
I think Zach, yeah, two of our film shooters, Zach and Max, have seen it. But yeah,
I definitely want to check that out. But,
God,
Paris, Texas.
yeah. Sorry, there's so many cars driving by right now.
Is number 71 on the top 250 on Letterboxd is
Yeah.
71.
Most
So
people
it's highly
say
regarded.
for sure. It's I don't know if I would say it's a masterpiece, but it's a really amazing film. The main character is played by Harry Dean Stanton. He's been in a lot of stuff, but mainly I looked it up. He was in 4 David Lynch films. He was in Wild at Heart, Inland Empire, Twin Peaks: Fire Walk with Me, The Straight Story, and he also shows up in Twin Peaks reboot. So he was kind of awesome there. But no, he has a great performance. Like one of my favorite performances ever is in Paris, Texas as him. He plays a dad who is kind of a guy. Without going too much into spoilers, he maybe isn't the perfect dad. He has amnesia for like the last 4 years, and he kind of abandoned his family, or for some reason he left his family for one reason or another for 4 years, and no one really knows why. And then he does some stuff, and then the movie is over. And damn it, yeah. Not it's not a lot of action. It's not really a mystery. It's kind of a mystery movie, but there's no real stakes to it. It's very human, very slice of life kind of. It's very emotional at times. That ending or that last act is kind of depressing, but it's really good. And there's a lot of moments I really like about it. But yeah, it's about a dad, and he does dad stuff in it. And then the second dad film I want to talk about was a samurai film I saw. It was called Lone Wolf and Cub, and I first found out about the film because I looked up bloody samurai films because I saw Harakiri and I was like, oh, there's a lot of blood in that. Or
There's a lot of blood in that.
yeah, are there any samurai films that have more blood? And people said Lone Wolf and Cub. And so I checked it out. It's a 70s, I think 1972, and very bloody, very campy. It's not at the artistic level as Harakiri or like Seven Samurai even. It's a lot more lowbrow, you could say. But it's about this dad who's this like executioner for the shogun or like the emperor of Japan, basically. And then his entire clan gets killed, his wife gets killed, and he's left to take care of his baby. And then he becomes an assassin who carries this little baby on his back, and it's fucking badass. He's like he uses the baby as a weapon.
Weapon.
Yeah, no.
Also, it's like Freddy Got Fingered.
Kinda. Horrible comparison. Yeah.
I know, but
Yeah, no, he attaches a mirror to the baby's forehead so it can like blind opponents from the sun. It's crazy. And then he like slashes their head off. It's so cool. And then he has this little baby shoulder, and then he can take it apart to like make a katana or like a bow staff, and he just starts beating the shit out of people with it. It's like, if that sounds cool to you, check it out. All right, to you, Alex, and to just the viewer in general, if the idea of a samurai carrying his baby beating the shit out of people sounds fun, it's fun. You'll like it.
yeah, no.
Yeah. And it's based off a manga. There are 5 of these movies, and I think like 3 of them were made in the same year. I've only seen the first one, but I would highly recommend it if you want something if you want something kind of fun. Give it a shot.
That's just what I love about just Japanese culture in general.
Yeah,
They are willing to take risks that no other like culture, at least here in America, will ever take. Like it's stuff like how you describe that.
yeah.
I mean, you have Shin Godzilla's like atomic breath scene is
Yeah.
insane.
No,
And just they just overall do like the most random shit you could ever possibly imagine, but they do it so well that it doesn't really come across as like campy or bad.
Yeah.
Sure, sometimes it is, but for me,
At
it
times.
just adds to like the charm of those movies. Like they're
For
willing
sure.
to do stupid shit, but they make it look awesome.
Yeah, no, it's so much different than American cinema for sure, and I really love it. Maybe I think Japanese cinema might be my favorite kind of like foreign cinema. Maybe I also love a lot of French films.
Yes,
I want to get back into Italian cinema a little more.
Saw Cabin of Dr. Caligari.
Oh yeah, German
For
Impressionism.
German Expressionism.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was that. I saw M,
Oh
which
yep.
is pre-World War II Germany.
Yep.
He actually made pretty solid films before you
Yeah.
know what happened.
I know
yeah.
Peter Lorre is in M, I believe, and I know people love him. And I think it was directed by Fritz Lang, the Metropolis guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he also made Metropolis is also. Yeah.
Because I know this because I was thinking about watching M pretty soon. But yeah, I want to give it a shot.
It's good. I think it was great.
Alright.
I like the whole thing that happens in it. It's like a murder mystery thing. Like
Okay.
things happen, and then they're trying to find this guy. And I think
Yep.
for me, it was like the last final like act of the movie was really what kept me like, because I was kind of like it was kind of going like this,
Yeah.
and it kind of went back up. I was like,
Okay.
oh, okay, this is where it's at. And also like
Alright.
the symbolism of the M and how he has it on his shoulder and whatnot. So it definitely is really cool to check out.
Yeah, I have no clue what you're talking about, but I'm kind of glad that I don't, because then I'll go into it blind. Boom. But yeah, no, that's
there you go.
exciting stuff. But yeah. All right, so now I think before we end the podcast, I kind of want to have this routine.
One final thing.
Yeah.
Or just a routine thing.
It's kind of a routine thing. I did it in the last episode where we just talk about either films or shows that we're just watching right now, or films that we're gonna watch like soon or about to watch. So do you have any shows you're watching, or is there any
Yes, I
film
do.
that you?
There's let me quickly, if I can do this very fast, go on Tubi, because I forgot you can do like the lists thing on that when you have an account on that.
Oh yeah.
So I've definitely saved some stuff.
Okay.
Francis Ha by Noah Baumbach.
Oh, I love Francis Ha.
Do need to do Marriage Story. I'm gonna get on that.
Marriage Story is one of my
you say
favorite
it's
films.
One of your favorite films. So
Watch it.
there's that.
It's so
Obviously, him and Greta,
Oh yeah.
actual power couple.
Power
Not
couple.
even like,
until before. Well, when they cheated, they weren't a power couple, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, Francis. Jackie Brown.
Oh, I want to watch
By
it.
Tarantino. I
Hmm.
think it's that and Death Stranding or Death one that he's made. I still need to see.
Death Stranding,
him.
the game.
Oh yeah, Death Stranding's the game.
Yeah.
Incendies by Denis Villeneuve.
Hmm.
Just like one of his other like highly regarded ones. Oh yeah, speaking of Denis Villeneuve, you got to do Blade Runner 2049.
I do.
God damn it.
Maybe we should
Gotta do
that.
it.
We gotta do that next semester. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, because I think that's on my list of like my document of just movies we still need to watch. So that's definitely on there.
All right.
It's a quadruple Mad World.
Oh yeah.
Apparently that movie's highly regarded.
Yeah, it's AVGN's favorite film, James. So.
Yeah, James Rolfe. I love that guy. He's great.
He's cool.
Platoon. It's one. Snowpiercer by Bong Joon-ho.
Oh yeah,
I definitely want to do more of his stuff because he's also really cool.
Yeah, he seems interesting.
The Death of Stalin.
Okay.
Which I know Max has said is really fun.
Yeah, I've seen bits and pieces. Looks cute.
And then I think Fitzcarraldo. Well, that's an interesting story.
Yeah, I've never
in and
heard
out of
that.
itself. This Fitzcarraldo. And then I just watched Kiki on my CRT.
Yeah.
Right over here. It's getting a little bit dark, but see it.
All right.
Saw that. They saw Annie Hall, which I think the only thing I have against it is that it won the Oscar for Best Picture over Star Wars that year.
Listen,
there's a lot of
man.
I can't already get into a lot of the, like Best Picture stuff.
We're trying to end this podcast, okay? We can't go on. We can't have this hour debate on whether blockbusters should win Oscars.
Yeah, I know. And then quickly, On the Waterfront.
I like On the Waterfront. It's pretty good. Yeah.
Young Brando is weird.
It's not what you would expect.
Seeing him after like The Godfather. Yeah, after seeing him in The Godfather, like this is the same man.
Yeah. No, it's super interesting. And I don't know if you know this, but there's kind of a history lesson with that film. Has to do with the HUAC and like the witch hunts and everything going on back then. I can't do it perfect justice, but that's a film I learned in my world cinema class. So you should do a Google on that if you're interested in it. You might like it more, might like it less. But yeah, it's super interesting stuff.
Right. And I think, again, final thing I think will be Nosferatu 2024.
Okay.
You own that now, so I want to revisit that.
It's a very good film.
Despite the extended edition just being 4 minutes added, which...
yeah.
I don't know why they call it that. Anyways, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Definitely want to do more classics. There's a couple more classics I want to do. The one on the top of my head is the classic Hunchback of Notre Dame, which will be interesting because I'm used to the Disney version.
I'm sure it'll be pretty
different. Obviously, it's going to be different. And then The Man Who Laughs, which again influenced the Joker.
Nice. A lot of different things there. You got everything combined right now. You got like modern, old classic stuff, silent films. Very sick. Okay.
Silent films, bro.
Yeah. Nice.
Then your turn. And we can end it.
Yay.
Until this becomes 10 hours.
We're kind of close. No.
Already stretching it. I'm giving you more work to do.
Oh yeah, I have to skim through all of this. Yeah. Thanks, Alan. Thank you. Yeah. No. So right now, for the first part, I'm still watching 2 shows right now. I'm watching Game of Thrones. I just started season 4 today. That's been pretty good. At the end of season 3, a big event happens. If you haven't seen the show, then that's all I will say. If you have seen the show, then that's all I will say. But then
I'm not too into Game of Thrones.
Have you seen it?
Not too into it. No.
Yeah. So you're not too into it, but you haven't seen it.
I just never saw the appeal of it.
I feel you there. I do.
It was that and the Hunger Games.
Yeah, okay.
Never saw the appeal of the Hunger Games.
Yeah, no, my parents are like the biggest Game of Thrones fans. They have like their entire room decked with stuff. So by extension,
all I know is that Jon Snow dies and then he comes back.
Spoilers! Don't say that. Well, everyone kind of knows that, but yeah.
Everyone knows that.
But yeah, it's a good show. Too much incest for me. But other than that, it's no, it's really good.
On top of Poppy Hill.
Yeah,
whatever it's
no,
called.
on top of Poppy Hill has nothing on Game of Thrones. But yeah,
That's a fight.
it's funny but true. Yeah, no, great show, super well written. It's very well written at times, not so well written at others. I still think it's a little misogynistic at times, but whatever. But then on the other hand, I'm like halfway through the Twin Peaks reboot, the Twin Peaks: The Return.
Yeah, that's true. I need to get on the Twin Peaks.
You still haven't started?
No, because I like the X-Files and the Twilight Zone.
Dude,
so, there you go.
Dude, Twin Peaks, it's like right up your alley, man. I think you will love it.
Also, David Lynch.
I love David Lynch. You like David Lynch.
To some degree.
Yeah. I think
I need to check out more of his stuff, but yeah, to some degree, I like him.
Even if you don't want to start the entire show, I think you should give the pilot a shot because that's like I think it's 1.5 to 2 hours. It's basically a feature-length film.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's one of the best pilots ever made. It's super good.
Yeah.
And then
Gotta watch Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
I'm doing.
And then if you watch the show, you can watch my favorite movie of all time, Firewalk with Me, because that movie is a fucking brilliant masterpiece. But you can't watch it without having seen the show.
Yeah.
And then I'm for the return, the reboot. It came out 25 years after the original show.
Later. Yeah.
All the characters are old now, and it's a super depressing show. And it's completely different than both the original series and the movie. It just does its own thing. No executives were as controlling as the original show, so David Lynch got to do literally anything he wanted for the most part for 18 hours. So you can see it as an 18-hour David Lynch film, which is a wet dream to me. But yeah, no, I'm halfway through. Episode 8 is kind of like an artistic, just brilliant, very experimental thing. I have no clue what was going on, but I loved every second of it. Episode 8 is just kind of crazy. Even on its own, if you were to take it out from the rest of the reboot, it's great as its own thing, which is weird to say. Because it's basically like, it's not an anthology, but it feels like it at times. It's like 18 different short films, which is sick.
It's stuck together.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no. And then I think I really like the show. I'm going to try to finish it soon. And then for movies, I want to watch M, like we talked about. And then I really want to watch The Phoenician Scheme. But it's not.
I want to see that too.
Yeah,
because Wes Anderson, like you say, the color boy,
the color man. Yeah,
the color perfect framing boy.
But no, yeah, that movie is not being shown at my local theater for some reason, which is fucking great.
I just need to see it.
Damn,
I just need to see the thing.
Okay, but yeah, and then I believe there was another film. I do want to watch Ran actually, because. Even though
yes, you should watch Ran.
Yeah.
Bro, it's not the first colored Kurosawa film. Mm-hmm. That was like 2 movies prior to it.
Okay.
It's the first one that I've seen. That is one of the most pristine looking colored films I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That's saying something because I've seen both colored in film and obviously colored in modern digital stuff.
Yep.
But yeah, no, that film just, oh my god, it looks beautiful. Holy shit.
People say that Kurosawa's colored films are much better than his black and white films, and I do want to see if that's true or not, or if I agree with it. But then,
Yeah, no, Ran definitely is. It's really freaking good.
Okay.
Still need to see Kagemusha, though. That's the one, like, everyone's like, the return of Kurosawa.
Yeah.
Whatnot.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then, lastly, there's not any real specific films that I want to watch, but I want to watch some more John Waters films because he is a hero. Yeah, you start cracking up because the only John Waters film you've seen is Pink Flamingos, which is
that's really it. Honestly, you could go your whole lifetime just being like, yeah, I just saw Pink Flamingos and I didn't see Cecil B. Demented.
Cecil B. Demented,
Multiple Maniacs.
Yeah, Dude, if you hated Pink Flamingos, you will hate Multiple Maniacs. I'd recommend it.
Yeah,
Dude,
no.
there's a crazy scene with Jesus Christ and a drag queen, and that's all I will say.
Cause yeah, I know Divine's in it.
Divine is in it. She does a great job. Also there might be a kaiju in Multiple Maniacs. That's all I will
A
say.
monster.
Oh yeah, a giant like 10.
That's what I'll look
Yeah.
for.
All right. I won't say where or when it happened, but there was a giant monster in it. And not on like TV or anything, in the movie. And then
no.
but yeah, no, I love John Waters' stuff, and he has a lot more trashy puke films that I want to watch without throwing up. And yeah. And then also Ingmar Bergman, I do want to check out a little more.
Yeah, I do need to do Autumn Sonata.
Yes, check out Autumn
I need to do
Sonata.
that one. Yeah,
Super
I need to
good.
do that one.
One of his best films. You might
I like his
it.
other 3 ones. I think I probably like Persona more than you.
Okay.
Actually, really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, no, Persona.
I know Wild Strawberries is it's kind of like weaker one, but I still really liked it. And then obviously the Seventh Seal, like,
that movie. So much you can talk about there.
So good.
It's
so good.
Fucking philosophical, theological. It's crazy.
Also chess. I
And
like
chess. Chess and the Grim Reaper from Bill and Ted. But yeah. All right. But yeah, I think that was a great episode. Great second episode. Yes, thank you, Alex, for being here. Check out his Instagram or his YouTube channel when he makes one. And yeah, we're gonna try to make this a weekly thing. It might just be me next time. It might be both of us. Might be more. I don't know yet. But until then, I don't know. Yeah. Do you have any last words?
I think it's just fun talking to someone who's just like vastly different compared to me.
For sure.
I'm really the blockbuster 21st century guy,
Oh, yeah.
and then you're more of like the artsy 20th century guy. So that's very out there, but
2 sides of the same coin. But
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like No Country for Old Men. You gotta do the thing. You gotta cast your thing.
Oh yeah. Have you seen No Country for Old Men?
Yes, I have seen it.
Okay. I wasn't crazy about it.
I can see why. It is dry as the Mojave Desert.
Yeah.
Unironically is where Rango takes place in. That's the desert it takes place in.
Clever
But
girl.
yeah, it's dry, but I liked it.
Okay. All right.
I liked it a lot.
Okay. Instead of continuing this argument, thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time. Like and subscribe, and maybe this podcast will be on Spotify. Who knows? But until then, see ya.
Poop it feels good. Poop like me, you wish you could. Wipe my butt, I wish you would. Poop your pants, I think you should. I poop in the ghetto.